A good day to you, my viewers. My name is Sunday Kolaole. By the grace of God, we shall be talking on electrical wiring series 2. We'll be talking on how to install 2 lighting points using 2-gang switch. I have my tools here. This is a tester. This is a screwdriver. And this is a plier. So these are the tools I'll be working with. And I also have my items here. This is an extension socket. This is an extension socket that will serve as our source of power. I have 2 bulbs here that we shall be using. I have 2 lamp holders. I have 2 lamp holders here as well. I have my sets of cables. I have my Patrex box. I have my 2-gang switch. 2-gang switch. And with 2 panels behind it. We have the common hole, common point. We have L1 and L2 points, and on the other side of the switch we have another common point, the L1 point and the L2 point. And we also have our 2 nuts that we'll be using. Now the class begins. We're going to start with our lamp holder. This lamp holder. So we'll be using a cable here. We'll be using a cable. So one of the cables will be going behind the terminals. One will go into one of the 2 terminals that we have here, and then we screw it. Then we screw it. Now we have this is a supply line. This is a supply line that will be going into one of the holes behind the 2-gang switch. And we also need a black cable. Also need a black cable that will be representing our neutral cable, which will also go behind the lamp holder. And then you screw it. And now this neutral line will be kept aside for now. So this is our supply line to be going into the Patrex box. This one is supposed to be attached to the wall, but for the sake of this class, it's going to be here with us on the table. So it's going to be entering the Patrex box and it's coming out. Then we have our switch here. So the supply line will be going into one of the points at the back of our 2-gang switch, which is referred to as L1. So we'll be going in, and then we'll be tying that. So it's already there. And now we need our power line. Our power line, remember I call this one our supply line. So this one is going to be our power line that will be going into the Patrex as well. Be going into the Patrex, and that one will be going straight into the common point. We call it common point. And then it's going to be screwed. It's going to be screwed. So now can you see what we have now? Can we see what we have? So now we have one gang switch already connected. One gang switch already connected, but I will not be screwing it now. So let's test what we have done. But before we test, we're still going to be putting our bulb in the lamp holder. It's fixed now. So with what we have now, we've been able to create a circle of installation, a circle of electrical wire installation. So now these two goes into our extension box. It goes into it. Can you see? So if you want to off it, you can off it. You can on it. Can you see? You can off it. You can on it. So to install the second point, now, which is this lamp holder and this bulb, this is how we go about it. So for now, let me uninstall what we are doing for precaution's sake. I'm installing now. So let us keep our extension aside. Remember, we have neutral cable coming from this first point and our supply cable going into the switch. As you can see, and then the other one going into the extension box that is serving as our source of light. So now we want to install the second bulb using the same gang switch, since we have two gang switch to be installed. So now we need a black cable. The black cable will be looped to the one that we have already installed. It will be looped. So let me unscrew a bit. So that this one can also enter. So I'm connecting this black cable to the one that has already been connected. So I've already put it in the terminal of this phone. So that is the neutral cable. We're just looping, we are tapping the circle from that black cable into the second lamp holder. So the other end of this black cable that I just brought in now will be going into the terminal of one of these. So we're going to the terminal, one of the terminals behind the lamp holder. Now we have this now. Now we also need another supply cable. So I'm going to be peeling them out, and then let me peel the other end. So this one is another supply cable for another lamp holder. So this one is going in. It's going into the other point of the lamp holder, and it's going to be screwed down. Now this supply cable too will also be going into the Patrex box. It will be going into the Patrex box. So we have it here. So from this second lamp holder, we already have our supply line coming into the Patrex box and straight into one of the two O's we have here. We have L1, we have L2. So I'm going to be using our L1, and then it will be screwed. At the back. It will be screwed. That has been properly screwed now. So this time around, we are not going to be running another supply line into the extension box that is serving as our source of power. Instead of that, all we need to do is just to loop from the line that we've already created before, from this particular common point. From this particular common point, we're going to be looping it to supply the other gang switch. So we're going to be using this. We're going to be using this to do the looping. There's a cable on its own. So all we need to do now is just to loop, and that is by losing a bit, the one that has already been screwed. So now I want to loop. So it's going into the other common point of the panel. It's going in there. So let me unscrew a bit so I can have a proper penetration. Yes. So now it has been looped. Now then we're going to put our bulb. It's going to be fixed. See, the first one we did, we have already looped the neutral into this one, and we've already carried our supply line from here, into the Patrex box. So now we have our bulb. We have our bulb fixed. So let me fix this one properly so as not to disconnect itself. So before I tie, so as you can see now, I want to rerun everything I have said. I want to say it again. So we have our neutral line. This is one of our neutral line. It's going into the extension which is serving as our source of power, and we have one supply line coming out from the other end of it. We have two terminals at the back of the lamp holder itself. So the red cable is running from the lamp holder straight into our switch, through the back of the Patrex box into L1. We call it L1 and L2. Like I said in the last series, we have this can be referred to as a two-gang two-way switch. That's why we have it in L1, L2. So the supply line from this lamp holder is going through the Patrex into the L1 point at the back of the switch, and then we have the second black cable from behind this first lamp holder. We are tapping the circle of current. We are tapping from the neutral that is going to the extension just behind this lamp holder. We are tapping it straight into the second lamp holder. As you can see, it's coming straight from this lamp holder into the second one, and then from there we have our supply line. We have our supply line coming like this. The same thing goes into the second panel of the two-gang switch. Now we have our power line. This particular one I'm holding, we have our power line just from inside this particular common point. From this particular common point, that one too is going straight into the socket. Now, instead of running another power line from the socket or from the source of power to supply this other gang switch, all we need to do is just tap from this power line into the second common point that will supply the second panel of our gang switch. So with that, now this one can be covered. It can be covered properly now. It can be covered and screwed up. So we bring in our bolt to screw it up, and the second bolt to screw the other end. So we screw this. We are screwing this. We are screwing it. We are screwing this to enter here. The screw is entering this point. So now we have all our circles, lighting point installed now. So we're going to be connecting the remaining two ends. We're going to be connecting the remaining two ends into our extension boxes. So now we have this, and then we have this. So these two now can be controlled. It can now be controlled using our gang switch. Okay. See, I've off one, I've off the other one. So this now, everything is done. Everything is properly done. So we have this. So we can off this. Everything is on now. Thanks for watching.